So, thank you, David. It was really nice. And guys, if anyone of you want a real estate or a realtor here down in Toronto, you have it. Contact him, take his phone number or his business card, so he might be able to help you guys. So now, we have our next speaker, which is Delina, and she's gonna introduce herself.
So you know a little bit about my background. Today I'm going to give a presentation on building a career-ready lifestyle in the life sciences. The information I'm going to give today, though, it really can apply to a lot of different careers. So this is just my experience and, again, how to navigate the job market in general in Toronto. Is anyone here looking for a job? Just question. Can I show of hands? Yeah, a couple of you guys. It can be a little tough out here. Right now, there's a lot of competition and with high competition comes trying to make yourself stand out. So I'm going to try and give you guys a little bit of advice. Is it just here? Okay, cool. So, on top of that, I'm really here to motivate you guys. I see a lot of you guys are in high school, university, trying to just make it out, and I see myself in a lot of your shoes, so I'm here to motivate. I'm here to be your big sister if you don't have one, and feel free to ask questions, raise your hand. I like to interact with you guys. I've been a little shy today, so can I just have a round of applause? Just like, not and that's how I want you guys to respond, okay? So, high school. Who's in high school right now? By round of applause. Just clap your hands. Okay. So, when I was in high school, can you guys see this? It's a little small, but it's okay. When I was in high school, I pretty much did everything by the book. I wanted to make my parents proud. I'm sure parents, so we want to just do the best we can. I got good grades. I joined clubs. I played sports. Anyone want to guess what sport I played? Basketball? I mean, no one ever says badminton or anything, so it was basketball, but I did play basketball. I had hoop dreams, but those were crushed when I decided to just go all in with academics. So how do you pick a major? You're going into university, there's all these options, all these careers, and you're kind of stuck, you're not sure. At this point, I didn't know anything really outside of the holy trifecta of engineer, lawyer, doctor. So I decided to pick doctor, my brother did engineer, my sister also went into life sciences. So I picked biomedical life sciences at McGill and later declared biochemistry. So I kind of went off the process of elimination. I liked biology, I liked chemistry, I liked math, didn't like physics too much, not that good in the arts, so I said, all right, biochemistry. And, looks like slides are a little messed up, but turns out liking biochemistry, liking biology and chemistry, my major is I like biochemistry. Is this on camera? Do you want to go click next? Do you have the PDF? Okay, I'll just keep yapping. At this point, so I'm going to give you guys a couple of Delina do's and don'ts throughout this presentation. But this brings me to our first do's and don'ts. Number one is to practice practicality. So be very practical as to what careers look like after your degree, because you will not be a student for forever. Right now, it might seem like that, you're just trying to get through it, but you want to be able to actually visualize what jobs look like after your degree. So for me, if I was in biochemistry, I would talk to people in biochemistry and say, what kind of job are you looking for, and ask what that career would look like. Don't just kind of blindly pick a degree. I think that's very common, especially in the life sciences. People nowadays just kind of pick a degree and get blinded and waste 4 years, waste money. It's very common for people to just do a chemistry degree or biology degree and then at the end say, you know what, I actually don't like being in the lab, or I don't want to actually be a chemist, and then you end up just getting kind of an odd job. So take a second, talk to people. People are very willing to be mentors. Okay, so next, I'm trying to remember what I had next. We want to talk about our next do and don't, which is, trying to remember, sorry guys. Is it okay if I just pull this on my phone?
Yeah, sure.
Just for a guide. No, if I can do this. What kind of job is the life sciences? I don't know. Any job. Sure. Pharmacy? Yeah, work in a pharmacy. Anyone else?
Nursing, laboratory.
Nursing, yeah. So there's a lot of jobs in the life sciences. You don't just have to be a doctor. Bioinformatician, molecular biology, you can do bioethics, you could do sales and biotech, chemistry, what have you. I do synthetic biology. So synthetic meaning designing something that doesn't naturally exist. And biology being the study of life. So I engineer DNA for cells to express specific proteins. More practically, I use this in biotherapies, so something called CAR T cell therapy. This is nothing I knew of going into university. I learned about this in my 4th year, my last year, and this led me to do a master's in biotech at McGill as well. So AI, I know you guys have been itching to hear about AI. I'll talk a little bit about it in the life sciences. These days, AI is kind of used to increase the efficiency of understanding biological data. So let's say I'm a scientist, I do lots and lots of experiments, and I have all this biological data, and you're trying to condense it and digest it. You can use AI to do this in a lot faster way. Another example is that as a protein scientist, you can use AI to help you design different binders, enzymes, what have you, for therapies. It's just kind of a way to increase your efficiency right now, and very useful in our realm for sure. So next, do and don'ts. Do try to implement AI in some capacity in your work. I'm not going to say AI can be applicable to everyone's career here, but it can be applicable to most careers if you're creative enough. Especially if you're applying to jobs, volunteering, whatever. Kind of saying I use AI to increase X efficiency, it's a buzzword and people like to hear it. So try to implement it in some capacity and don't be scared or resistant to change because it's going to happen whether you like it or not. We're in an interesting time now where AI is kind of taking jobs, providing jobs, but what people want to see now is an employee that gives you 100x output and then they fire 90 employees. So you want to be that employee that says, hey, and I use AI to increase this efficiency, and this is how I can get work done a few days quicker. Yes. So back to university. Is anyone in university right now? By clap. Some university students. For those of you in university or even going to university, I want to say that leaving university with only a degree nowadays is not enough. It's not like our parents' generation. Having a degree is not a ticket to get work, for sure. You need to leave university with experience. So it can be volunteering experience, it can be extracurriculars, and it doesn't have to be exactly the path that you're on right now. So let's say you're a chemist or an engineer, you don't have to only join engineering clubs. It can be the Black Student Association, it could be a sports club or what have you. But you want to be an executive, a high-ranking position to show that you have experience, soft skills, that you're able to manage or kind of deal with different situations. For example, I joined the African Student Association kind of randomly on a whim. I was able to meet really great people, like-minded people, and made my whole university experience, honestly. And it showed in the many years later, when I'm talking about these experiences, that this is where I kind of honed those soft skills. Another example, my brother in engineering, he joined a bunch of different clubs at Ryerson. There's a lot of cool clubs that you guys can join, by the way. And he ended up joining the drum club. He didn't have really any experience in that and ended up 4 years later being the captain, and then the tech that they used from that drum club he used as a startup company, and now they're doing very well. So you never know what can come out of joining clubs. Please put yourself out there because it adds depth to your resume. Okay, so volunteering. This is how you get the 2 years of experience as a fresh grad. If you're in the life sciences or even in general, you need to go talk to your professors, go on the websites, and ask if you can volunteer. I did many, many months volunteering, and having those specific skills, techniques, extremely valuable. I was able to talk about, now, 4 years later, I talk about what I did in second year because these skills that I did at that time, these new lab techniques, they're very applicable and help you kind of give that edge to your resume. So, yeah, do ask and don't just expect it to happen. And again, yeah, try to do this in second, third year if possible. Fourth year's a bit late. First year if you're eager. And reference letters. This is quietly one of the most important things when you're in university, what you want to get out of it. By volunteering in these labs, you can get reference letters and have these professors actually be able to speak highly of you in these letters. You can get good quality letters that allow you to do, let's say, a master's later. For work, you're going to need reference letters. This is how you get them, by kind of building some sort of repertoire with these professors. So you got to put yourself out there at some capacity. Not to say don't get good grades, do that, but don't get blinded by just chasing the GPA. LinkedIn. Who has a LinkedIn? By clapping. Good, very good. Who does not have a LinkedIn? By clapping. A little bit more shy. So, this is essentially, if you don't know what this is, social media for professionals. This is where you can find jobs. So, when I was in high school, I'm glad I had my dad to practically beg me to get a LinkedIn. I was kind of on the mindset of, I'm in the life sciences, why do I need to network? I'm not a business bro, I don't need to do this. Thankfully, I did. I just got one. I just started getting connections. I just put something on my profile. Turns out LinkedIn, very, very important in the future. Again, I don't want to say this is applicable to everyone's career, but you never know in the future, because you can have one career now. Let's say you're in nursing, you might not need LinkedIn as much. You don't know at some point, oh, do I want to pivot and do something that's more managerial within nursing? That's when LinkedIn is very useful. So it's more of a long-term mindset, and that's why you want to get it right now. So Delina, do make a LinkedIn like right now. You can use your mom's phone or whatever. Make it today. It takes 2 seconds. If you have an Instagram, you can make a LinkedIn. Do not graduate with 0 connections. If you're in high school, if you're in university, these are the best places to make these connections. You're surrounded by like-minded people, hundreds of people. And then once you leave university, you don't have that kind of circle to your disposal. This is the best place to do it. I remember I went to conferences and things like this. This is a great place to just meet someone and say, hey, do you have LinkedIn? I'd like to have a connection. Right now, we need to be connections. And you know what I mean? You never know down the line if I want to do something in your degree. So this is definitely something you want to try. And as a challenge, try to get 3 connections today. If you have, I heard a lot of you guys have LinkedIn's. So get 3 connections today. Talk to people. You guys try and mingle both sides as well. And you never know where it can lead. So applying to jobs 101. I'm going to give very practical advice as to how to approach the job market in Toronto or in general. It's very scary, to be honest. Number 1, constantly check job postings. This is not to say you need to spend 4 hours a day checking jobs and drown yourself. Good jobs in general come and go very quickly. So you want to just quickly check, take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, check the browser, if it's on LinkedIn or whatever. I like to turn on the past 24 hours on the job postings just to see what's up, because the early applications, those are the ones that are going to get considered and seen. So you need to be kind of constantly checking, to be honest. Have coffee chats. Does anyone know what a coffee chat is? Yeah? What is it? Yeah. So, like David actually mentioned, he had kind of an informal coffee chat with his construction manager, where he kind of just went there and said, you know, why does this cost $40,000? Like, what's going on with $40,000? These are kind of informal conversations you have with mentors, people who work at companies, and these days, networking, very, very important to get jobs. It's word of mouth. A lot of the times, like sometimes applications, A lot of the times it's word of mouth, so this is kind of how you do it. And they're common answers, but I'm shy. How do I talk to someone that I don't know, someone older, you know what I mean? And the easy answer is to just pretend. So fake it till you make it, especially girls in the room who tend to be a little bit more shy. Just pretend to be that outgoing person. Like, I don't even like public speaking that much, and I'm giving a whole presentation. So pretend to be that outgoing person, that networking guru. Just talk. It might feel hard. For me, the first few coffee chats I had, it did not feel natural, I'll be honest. I felt like it was a little transactional. I wasn't sure if it was even working, but over time I kind of just kept going, and that's when something will actually come out of it. And it might not be what you expect. Half the time, what I was getting out of it was understanding my sector in biotechnology a lot better. I started understanding what kind of jobs are, what are good companies, what are bad, what's expected salary. So it might not be a job that comes out of it directly, but they might lead you to someone else, and then that might be a job. The position I have now came from coffee chats. I talked to someone who was my referral to a company, and they're able to give me an interview. So try to just go on LinkedIn, cold message. Speaking of cold message, there's an art to this. So a cold message is essentially, you go on LinkedIn or what have you, you send a message to someone that you don't know and hope that they respond. So come off personal and natural. I'm gonna read this out loud and then just break it down. So, hey, whoever, my name is Delina. I'm a research scientist with an interest in your company. I came across your profile and was wondering if you'd be open to having a quick chat about your experience. Let me know and I can set it up, thanks. So beginning, I introduced myself. I came across your profile. Wonder if I can have a quick chat. Emphasize that it will be quick because people are busy. They don't know you. Why would they have this conversation with you? It will be quick, and let me know that I can set it up. Show that you're proactive. This is something that people tend to forget. Mentees, they won't be as proactive. You're getting something out of the situation. So show this mentor, show this person that it will be quick, I'll set it up, and say thank you. Very easy. And this is how you don't do it. So, hey, whoever, I saw you worked at this company, can you be my referral? Who wants to tell me why, this is not a good message? Is this a good message? You guys think this is good? No? Why? Any answers? Yeah, you're asking for something. It feels transactional. Sometimes when I send these messages, I like to think to myself, would I answer this? If someone sent me this that I didn't know, would I answer someone who sends that? So take a second, and then what I like to do is once I have, you can use ChatGPT, guys. Once you have a nice little message, I just copy and paste. You have to just send it to tons of people and make sure you write their name. Upskill while you wait. So you might have a gap in your resume when you're looking for work, and saying that the job market is bad is not a good enough excuse. During your time, upskill. For me, my background's in wet lab sciences, so I don't have a lab to my disposal at home. So I had to start doing bioinformatics courses, I started vibe coding, I started building predictive models, and these are things that you can talk about in your coffee chats, in your interviews to show I'm proactive. I know the job market's bad, but during my free time I was actually doing something with my free time. So try to upskill, do a course on Coursera, stuff like that. Stand out. This one's hard, but very important. We're already all POCs, so it's that much harder to get noticed. If you have a LinkedIn, try a blog post. If you did upskilling, post about it, talk about it. Show that you are slightly different than the hundreds and hundreds of candidates who have resumes that look very similar to you, because standing out is the only thing that's going to help. That's where coffee chats come out, help you out too. Manage your expectations. You'll be getting rejected a lot. I need to read this for myself because you will be getting rejected a lot. It's just kind of the name of the game. The job market's bad, but you need to just stay persistent, you need to stand out, and try to not let it dampen your spirits. Okay, we decided to move forward with your application. These are the things you've been waiting to hear. So essentially, I went to a conference where someone gave a presentation, it's actually an HR head, how to give the perfect interview. So I stayed in the whole presentation and condensed this for you guys in like 4 steps, just so you didn't have to do that. So, number 1, do your research. Might be obvious, but if you get interviewed at a company or you're talking to a professor, you should know what they're talking about. You should know about the company, you should come prepared with intelligent questions, and you should study the role. Everything that they're asking, you should know exactly what they're asking and how your resume fits with what they're looking for. So do your research for sure. Tell me about yourself. This is almost a guaranteed question that they're gonna ask you in the beginning of your interview. Have that memorized, have it short and sweet, 30 seconds. Talk about yourself, your impact, your background, and where you want to go in your career. There's like almost a science to that if you really want to get to the nitty gritty, but prepare that. Practice the generics. So, the soft skills. These days, these are the deterrents that have you get hired over another person in your role, because everyone's CV looks the same. Everyone, especially if you're going in an entry role position, you don't have much experience to show your differentiation between you and another candidate. Practice the generics. Why this company? Have you dealt with conflict before? What's a challenging situation you've done? These are questions they will ask. Have answers ready for these questions. This is where the volunteering comes in, taking it back to university. This is where joining those clubs come in. You can start talking about things you did in those clubs and kind of have these little things to drop in to show that you are a well-rounded, multifaceted person. And then at the end, tell them you want the job. So apparently, this is uncommon for candidates to say at the end of an interview like, hey, just want to say, I would like this job. So it may seem obvious, why would I be interviewing for a job I didn't want? But it reminds the interviewer that you are someone who is dedicated, who is here for a reason, and I want this job. So it doesn't have to be so blunt. You can say, hey, by the way, I really enjoyed this interview, this chat we had today. I would really love this position. Just wanted to be candid. Thank you. It reminds them of you, and it gives you that extra edge. So just say that at the end. I got the job, yay! You went through all that work. Does that mean you're all set for the rest of your life? No. So it's a bit of an endless pursuit. You want to keep networking, keep talking, because half the time jobs you didn't even know existed are the jobs for you. So if you're unsure right now what jobs to do, don't worry. You purely just need to talk to more people. You need to understand the lay of the land a lot more, and then you'll find that specific job for you, because there are tons and tons of jobs, especially in the life sciences, that you may not know of, or even me, I'm still learning about. So just keep putting yourself out there, networking, and your time will come. And yeah, things to remember. If you're still unsure what to do, talk to people currently doing your degrees or your jobs. Go on LinkedIn and do that. A degree alone is not enough. Volunteer, do extracurriculars, be multifaceted. Number 3, make a profile on LinkedIn. If you don't have a profile, make it. It takes 2 seconds. You don't have to have such an incredible background to put on LinkedIn. Just make your profile, put your name. You've done any job, any volunteer, you can put it on there, and just kind of start understanding what does LinkedIn look like. What can I search up? What can I see? And then for job market stuff, so stand out, upskill, do some projects. And thank you. So if you guys have any questions, I'm open to answering. And if, yeah, sure.
So you mentioned one of your duties is to incorporate AI into your workforce. So my question is, as somebody who's in research in that area, how have you particularly incorporated it without falling into the temptation of relying to think for you, essentially?
Pardon me?
Without falling into the temptation of relying on it to think for you.
Oh no, so I would use AI sometimes to brainstorm, to troubleshoot. So a lot of times if you're doing experiments as a scientist, things will almost inevitably go wrong. So using AI to kind of troubleshoot and figure out how to think of different answers and then pair that with my own knowledge, my own background is a good way to kind of just expedite the process, because you want to kind of get over the problem as fast as possible. In terms of thinking, especially in sciences, you don't want to rely on AI. That's why you got a degree. but you can use AI when it comes to actually processing data. So you will have tons of data that you can use AI to, once like specific instructions, to processing condense, and then you kind of use it, like I mentioned, as like a co-work pilot, so you're kind of making sure that the data that's actually coming out makes sense and is relevant to your study.
Any other question? Special, right?
Yeah.
There is been on the AI slide, there's a tip at the bottom that if you really start researching AI, you can kind of predict which jobs will become available as AI progresses. In terms of what you're seeing in your field, what are some jobs you see closing down and what are some jobs you see opening up? And what is the current trend for anyone in the life science so they can almost like AI proof their career?
So thankfully in the life sciences, a lot of it is hands-on. So like things like, some trades like that has been pretty protected in terms of AI taking your job. So in that sense, we're okay. I think the only jobs that may be getting lost within the life sciences are the like bioinformaticians or anything to do with computer science, because now these scientists that have a lot of wet lab experience can use AI and learn this really quick. So like I was saying, I'm learning these bioinformatics courses, Python for genomic data. These scientists are kind of being able to do a lot more rather than having to, hire someone to do 4 different things. One scientist is now able to do 4 jobs essentially. So anything to do with, like I said, data processing, bioinformatics, these jobs maybe, but life sciences in general, we're doing okay so far in terms of data. Yes.
Do you see any jobs opening up because of AI within that field?
Maybe anything to do more with like protein engineering, because that was more difficult in the past. You weren't able to have many iterations at once. When it comes to designing like different binders for biopharmaceuticals in general, protein sciences, I think maybe that sector is actually opening up more because it's again becoming easier, more accessible. You're able to like lean on AI for more of the difficult tasks and pair it with like your knowledge and understanding of biological systems in general. Yeah.
Question 3.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I like your presentation, the way you talk to people, and as you mentioned, like you are not like that, but you become more confident and you can speak from stage. What helps you? And you see a lot of high schoolers, and is it important to be like that for the interview or in life?
Yeah.
What makes you to be this Delina?
Well, thank you. Like I said, you just gotta kind of pretend, take it till you make it. I think the more I talk to people, the more I do these presentations, obviously practice your presentations, if we're talking about this particularly, it feels more natural. When it comes to interviews, you want to be as personable as possible. So even if you're not that happy-go-lucky person, you want them to feel like that, because they're thinking at the back of their head, okay, they're smart, I see their CV, everything looks good. Am I gonna wanna work with this person? Am I gonna wanna have coffee or lunch with this person, conversations with this person? So try to practice talking to people, networking, even if it doesn't feel natural, because at some point you're gonna get the hang of it. Like I said, I've done tons of coffee chats now. The first 15, I didn't feel too good, it didn't feel natural. I had to really prepare what to say each one. And then by the end, it was just conversations, it was natural. So it's really a matter of practicing. If this doesn't come naturally to you, like my dad, for example, very outgoing, very natural for him to just talk to anyone that's around him. And that's not me personally, but you can kind of build yourself to that point. And it kind of takes time maturing, so don't worry if it doesn't come overnight. Just keep it in the back of your head and try to look at it. Yeah.
Any other questions? All right.
Sure.
What do you think, how specific do you think that the AI is going to influence the medical? So basically, for example, I'm a nurse. I want to...
Sorry, for example, what?
I'm a nurse.
You're a nurse?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a nurse, but I'm giving an example.
Yeah.
If I'm a nurse, and I'm working as a nurse. How what's the relevancy of AI in this generation?
Okay, I mean, that's the nuance. Like, I think nursing, not so much, to be honest, because it's, again, very hands-on. Anything hands-on, I think right now, AI, you're safe. But if you ever want to do something adjacent to nursing, anything that has to do with data, essentially, you can use AI to expedite that process. But it's like, you know, if you're in construction, you're not going to use AI, you know? You don't have to AIify everything, but I'm saying if you can, try to utilize it. But yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents.
Thank you, Delina.